Welcome back to the Psychological Paradigm Shift podcast. I'm Ed Rieger, your host. I hope you found last week's episode informational and helpful. Always remember, I am only providing my personal opinions based on my experiences and education on psychological topics. We will be talking about mental illness in a very blunt, transparent manner. The topics may be disturbing to some, and it will never be my intent to hurt anyone, only to share my ideas and thoughts. Tonight, we're going to cover alcohol and the questions you may want to ask your potential romantic partners. I think alcohol is one of the drugs of choice for the mentally ill. It's cheap, socially acceptable, and you can forget everything you did while using it if you drink enough. I also believe it allows you to suppress the memories that haunt your mind. It can push these memories down your entire life, and alcohol may be a constant partner for the mentally ill. It is invited everywhere they go and participate in almost everything they do. They usually were introduced to alcohol very early in life, most likely as a young child. I grew up in bars. I grew up in legal bars and illegal bars. And the illegal bars were extremely interesting. Everyone I knew just about growing up drank alcohol. My mother and father were both alcoholics. I drank very early in life. They shared their alcohol with me as if it were completely normal, almost like milk. I believe alcohol is one of the most destructive products that mentally ill can ingest. I've seen it destroy their bodies, minds, children's lives, finances, and employment. Alcohol doesn't care if you're rich or poor, black or white, internationally famous. It is an equal opportunity destroyer. It can and will destroy any potential you may have had in life, especially if you consume it when you're young, and depending on if you become an alcoholic. Why do Americans and humans all over the world need to consume so much alcohol? Great question. You can purchase alcohol in restaurants, sporting stadiums, music concerts, grocery stores, bars, boats, planes, and even on the sidewalks of major cities. According to the Center for Disease Control, Americans consume about 35 billion drinks a year. The FBI reports that DUIs are the second most common arrest made in the United States. According to the Department of Justice, 37% of the almost 2 million convicted offenders currently in jail report that they were drinking at the time of their arrest. That's almost half of everybody arrested. That comes out to be over 700,000 people that have lost their freedom, lost their employment, lost their finances, possibly lost their children to foster care, possibly lost their relationships with their parents, spouses, lost their relationships with family and friends, all because of alcohol. Alcohol mixed with psychological illness is a deadly combination for everyone involved. Now, these questions will divulge some major red flags, and most people won't even think twice about how abnormal their behavior may be while you're asking them these questions. Okay, let's get started. Do you drink alcohol? At what age did you first start drinking? How many times a week do you drink alcohol? Depending on the frequency of usage, this will be a giant red flag. If they think social drinking is perfectly normal, they may be drinking quite a few nights a week. You drink alone or in a group? How many drinks do you usually consume? Have you ever blacked out from drinking? Do you normally consume alcohol at family functions? Now, most family functions that I've attended do have some kind of alcohol involved. And if you don't consume it, you're viewed a little bit abnormal. So that's a good question. So do you consume alcohol at family functions? Sometimes, almost always. Does your family consume alcohol? Do they consume alcohol at family functions? Sometimes, almost always. Do you consume alcohol at social events like sporting events or parties? Who first introduced you to alcohol? I think this is a very important question because it's going to show you if a parent was the one who first introduced alcohol to them and how normal it was for them growing up to see parents drinking alcohol, sharing alcohol with them, their siblings, everybody they know drinking alcohol. How commonplace was it and standard for everybody to be drinking? Have you ever driven a car after or while you were drinking? If they answer yes to this question, you may see their serious lack of judgment and concern for others, and it will definitely show their ability to break laws. Have you ever had a DUI? How many have you had? Have your driving privileges ever had to be modified because of your drinking? Have you ever had a driver's license revoked or suspended? Have you ever driven a vehicle while intoxicated with your children in the car? There's so much to unpack here if they answer yes to this question. But you definitely would want to dig deeper on this question. Have you ever drank alcohol around your children? How often do you drink alcohol around your children? Daily, weekly, monthly? Just on social events? This is part of passing the torch to the next generation when it comes to induced psychosis. Have you ever encouraged your minor children to drink alcohol? How many times? Did they get drunk? At what age did you first introduce them to drinking alcohol? Have you ever wrecked your car while driving? When I was a child, and I was around alcoholics, they would get so drunk that they would have me drive them home because they couldn't hold their car keys. They didn't care that I didn't have a driver's license and could barely see over the steering wheel. Endangering me or themselves was not a concern they had. Have you ever drank alcohol while pregnant? Has anyone in your family ever died from alcoholism or alcohol-related illnesses? My mother died at age 47 from her body breaking down because of alcohol. Have you ever had to admit yourself to an alcohol rehab facility? Reports state that over 10% of the American population suffers from alcohol issues. That's over 30 million Americans. When you were admitted to the rehab facility, how long were you there? How many times? Have any of your family members ever been admitted to a rehab facility? For how long? How many times? These questions are direct evidence of your potential partner's severity of their psychological issues. Because alcohol is woven into the fabric of our society, it is hiding in plain sight. And it's masking the underlying psychological disorders of a lot of people. Alcohol is acceptable and promoted on television commercials, print media, radio advertising, many other methods of marketing. Questions about alcohol consumption may be one of your best tools available to you to get to the red flags of your potential romantic partner. Okay, we're going to go ahead and stop there, and I hope that was helpful. Thanks for sharing time with me tonight. As we progress through our psychological paradigm shift, remember you can go to the website psychologicalparadigmshift.com, and I will post updates when I have them. And you can sign up to receive future information. I look forward to next week's episode, which we're going to cover drug usage. Take care of yourselves.